Welcome back, guys. This is week 6, video 4. And for this video, we're going to convert units of weight and mass. And we're going to be using practice page 5. Down at the bottom, practice page 5. And you're also going to need your star chart. So make sure that you have that. Okay. All right. So first conversion that we have. Okay, a cat weighs 14 pounds. Okay, I'm underlining the unit of measurement. How many ounces is this equivalent to? Okay, so I need to convert pounds over to ounces. So I'm going to draw my input-output table, label my pounds over here, and then I'm going to put my ounces over here. Okay, my expression goes in the middle. All right. So now I've got to think about pounds and ounces and which one is bigger, okay? So pounds and ounces are measuring weight, not mass, okay? So I'm going to look back at this sheet, okay? An ounce is about the weight of a key, like your house key, and a pound would be like a can of vegetables or a loaf of bread, okay? So a pound is bigger. Okay, it has more weight, so I'm going to put my 1 over here. Now I'm going to look at my star chart under weight and find the conversion for pounds and ounces. There it is. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. Okay, so I'm going to put my 16 over here. Okay, so now I've got to look at the numbers and see how I'm getting from 1 to 16. I'm going smaller to bigger. So I have to multiply. So I'm going to plug the 1 in here, and I have to multiply that times 16 in order to get 16. Okay, so for this problem, my rule is to multiply by 16. Okay, so the number that they want me to convert is 14. Okay, so I'm going to plug in 14 pounds, and I've got to multiply that times 16. 14 times 16. Okay, 6 times 4 is 24. Carry my 2 over. 6 times 1 is 6, plus the extra 2 is going to be 8. Okay, so I'm done with this 6, so I'm going to mark it out. Come down, drop that 0 there to hold the place, and I'm going to get rid of what I carried so I don't try to use it again. Okay, now I need to multiply the 1 over first. Okay, 1 times 4 is 4, and then 1 times 1 is 1. And then I need to add those together. That would be 4, 12, and 2, okay? So 14 pounds is equivalent to 224 ounces, okay? Next, a book weighs 32 ounces, and they want me to figure out how many pounds that is. Well, we just did a conversion for pounds to ounces. Now they want me to go the opposite way. They want me to go ounces to pounds. Okay, put my expression in the middle. All right, so we already said a pound is bigger, so my 1 is going over here. And we learned that there are 16 ounces in a pound, so that 16 is going to go on the left this time. Okay, now this time I have a bigger number going to a smaller number, so I can't multiply. I have to divide, okay? And in order to get 1, I have to divide that 16 by itself, okay? So my rule for this problem is going to be to divide by 16, okay? So I'm going to put my 32 over here because that's what we're converting. And then plug a 32 in here, and I've got to divide that by 16. Okay. All right, so you might not know that division fact, but that's okay. Think, what can I multiply times 16 that would equal 32? Well, that's just 2. If I take 16 and multiply it times 2, that's 12. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Okay, so if 2 times 16 gives you 32, using our knowledge of fact families, we know that 32 divided by 16 has to be 2, okay? So 32 ounces is equivalent to 2 pounds, okay? Okay. Number 3. Page down. All right, a lab specimen has a mass of 7 grams. So now we're talking mass and not weight, okay? So we have 7 grams, and they want me to figure out how many milligrams that is equal to. Oops, sorry. Okay, so I need to create my input-output. And I'm going from grams to milligrams, expression in the middle. So I've got to think back to what is larger, a gram or a milligram. Let me grab that page. And like I said, grams and milligrams measure mass, not weight, okay? All right, so here's a milligram. A milligram is about 1 grain of salt. Okay, a gram is about the mass of a paperclip. Okay, so you can tell that a gram has more mass than a milligram. So my 1, I'm gonna move it down here, goes here. Okay, so now I'm gonna look at my star chart to see the conversion for grams to milligrams. All right, so I'm looking at mass right here. Grams to milligrams. 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. So I'm going to plug that in here. Okay, now look at your numbers. To get from 1 to 1,000, I have to multiply because I'm going smaller to bigger. Okay, so I'm going to plug the 1 in, and I've got to multiply it times 1,000 to get 1,000. Okay, so my rule for this problem is to multiply times 1,000. Okay, so we need to convert 7 grams. So I'm going to plug 7 grams in and multiply it times 1,000, which equals 7,000. Okay, so 7 grams is equal to 7,000 milligrams. Okay, now let's do some problem solving. We'll do a few of those, and then you'll do the rest on your own for practice. Let me fold my paper. All right. Okay, we're going to do number 7. Okay, Anthony's truck and trailer have a combined weight of 7 tons. Okay, so both of them combined. Okay, so here is a strip diagram. Okay, so he has a truck and a trailer. Okay, here's the truck, here's the trailer. Oops. Truck and trailer. All right, combined together, they have a weight of 7 tons. Okay, his trailer weighs 3,500 pounds. 3,500 pounds. Notice they changed the measurement. Up here it's tons, here it's pounds. Okay, now if we want to do math here to these numbers, I'm going to have to convert something because I can't do the math with tons against pounds. Okay, they have to be the same units in order to do the math. Okay, so the question is asking how much does the truck weigh? Okay, so I have the total for both parts, and I have one of the pieces, and I need to figure out the other piece. Okay, so to do this, eventually we're going to have to subtract or take out the weight of the trailer. Okay, but before I can do that, like I said, I've got to change these tons into pounds so that I can subtract pounds minus pounds. Okay, so let me draw my table, and I'm changing tons over to LBS or pounds. Here's my expression. Okay, so we need to know which is bigger. I need to know whether a ton or a pound is bigger. Well, remember, a ton is about the weight of a giraffe, and a pound is about the weight of a can of vegetables or a loaf of bread. Okay, so a ton is going to be larger. Okay, now on your star chart, you can see that a ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. Okay, so I'm going to put 2,000 over here. Okay, so now I've got to think, how am I getting from a smaller number to a bigger number? I have to multiply. So that's going to be 1, and I have to multiply by 2,000 in order to equal 2,000. Okay, so my rule for this problem is to multiply times 2,000. Okay, all right, so I'm converting 7 tons to pounds. So I'm going to plug in a 7. 7 times 2,000, and I apologize, I did this too small. Okay, that's 7 times 2,000. 7 times 2 is 14, and then put 1, 2, 3 zeros behind it. Okay, so this 7 tons is actually equivalent to 14,000 pounds. Okay, so now that I've done that, I can take out the weight of the trailer because I have pounds and pounds now. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take 14,000 and I'm going to subtract 3,500 from it. Okay, 0 minus 0 is 0. And again, I can't subtract 0 minus 5, so I've got to borrow. That becomes 3. This becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 3 minus 3 is 0. And 1 minus 0 is 1. So the truck has a weight of 10,500 pounds. Okay, 10,500 lbs. Okay, now number 8. Fold my paper. Carissa's backpack has a mass of 9 kilograms. Kg is kilograms. She took a book out of her backpack, so she subtracted it. She took it away. Okay, and that book had a mass of 450 grams. That's what she took out of the backpack. What is the mass of her backpack now? Okay, so here's a strip diagram. We started with a total mass of 9 kilograms. Okay, no magic there. They told me that in the problem. Okay, she took out a book that was 450 grams. Okay, and they want me to find what's left. Okay, so again, in order to do the math here, I have to make these units the same. Okay, so I need to take these kilograms, kg, and convert them to grams. Here's my expression column. Okay, so I've got to think about what's bigger, a kilogram or a gram. Okay, well, the kilogram is about one of those big old dictionaries that y'all use in English class and reading class. Okay, and then a gram is about the mass of a paper clip. So you can tell that a kilogram is much larger. Okay, so now we need to look at our star chart under mass and find the conversion for kilograms and grams. There it is, kilogram and grams. 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. Okay, so 1,000 is going over here. Okay, so now look at my numbers. Going from smaller to bigger, so I have to multiply. And to get 1,000, when I'm multiplying times 1, I have to multiply times 1,000. Okay, so for this problem, my rule is to multiply times 1,000. Okay, so now I need to convert this 9 kilograms. So I'm going to plug in the 9, multiply times 1,000, and that's equal to 9,000 grams. Okay, so this 9 kilograms is actually 9,000 grams. Okay, so now that I've made them both grams, now I can do the math. Okay, so if I know the total and I know one of the parts and I'm trying to find the missing part, that means I need to take out the part that I know. Okay, I need to subtract it. So I'm going to take my total and I'm going to subtract the mass of the book. Okay, 0 minus 0 is 0. I can't subtract 0 minus 5, and there's nothing to borrow here, so I've got to come over here. That 9 becomes 8. I bring that 10 here and add it to that 0, but it's not staying here. I've got to get over here. Okay, so this is going to become 9, and that's going to be 10. Now I can subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 4 is 5, and 8 minus 0 is 8. Okay, so the mass of her backpack without that book in it is 8,550 grams. Okay, now the last problem on this page is number 9. All right, Elizabeth's cat weighs 10 pounds. Okay, Nayeli's kitten weighs 15 ounces. How much heavier? Okay, and in my class, I use a little saying called, how many more of this than that tells me that I must subtract. That's the same thing as how much heavier. That's the same thing as how many more. Okay, so I'm going to need to subtract some numbers. Okay, but like we just noticed, these units of measurement are not the same, so I've got to make them the same. Okay, so the cat is going to weigh more than the kitten. Okay, so I'm going to need to convert my Elizabeth's cat's weight in pounds over to ounces. Okay, so I need to change pounds over to ounces. This is my expression. Okay, all right, so let's think about that. And what's greater, a pound or an ounce? Okay, a pound is going to be about a loaf of bread or a can of vegetables. An ounce is going to be about the weight of your house key. Okay, so a pound is going to be greater, so my 1 goes over here. And for weight, let's look at the conversion. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So my 16 goes over here. Okay. All right, to get from 1 to 16, I have to multiply because I'm going smaller to bigger. So 1 times 16 will give me that 16. So for this problem, I'm multiplying times 16. Okay, and I've got to change that 10 pounds to ounces. So I'm going to plug that in, and I've got to multiply that times 16. Okay, well, this is just multiplying a number times 10. So anytime we multiply a number times 10, just take that number and add a 0 behind it. Okay, all right, so Elizabeth's cat has a weight of 160 ounces, and Nayeli's kitten has a weight of 15 ounces. Okay, and like I said, how much heavier means we need to subtract. We're finding the difference between those two. Okay, so I'm going to subtract. I can't subtract 0 minus 5, so I've got to borrow. That 6 becomes 5. The 0 is going to become 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. 1 minus 0 is 1. Okay, so there's a difference of 145 ounces between Elizabeth's cat and Nayeli's kitten. All right, that's it for video 4. Stay tuned. Video 5 is going to be over customary and metric capacity conversions, practice page 6. Okay, so that's the next video coming up. See you then.